Today's video review and typing sample is of something a little different from what I usually feature. It is a Sears, or brother, it's a Sears product, brother product. Sears sold Correcto Ball XL #1 electric typewriter. This particular model, was made in 1983. These typewriters were sold in the time that the personal computer came to be, so in a sense a bit of a dying breed. It shares the golf ball mechanism that IBM Selectrix introduced in the 1960s, although it is quite different. Instead of the type element actually moving, this still uses the conventional carriage movement. On machines like this, I don't find that very efficient. I'm not very interested per se in electric typewriters. There's only a certain genre that I get intrigued about. I do enjoy working on Smith Corona electrics, the Electra 120, the 220, the Coronet. As long as they're not a machine that uses the that are fitted with the Coronomatic mechanism. If they're just the conventional twin spool ribbon, I do enjoy working on those. And I have an appreciation for IBM Selectrix, mainly for the complexity of their mechanism, the whiffletree mechanical coding system that they use. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but it is actually, there is some information about there. If you could study up on the IBM Selectric, the mechanism in those is ingenious. Wouldn't want to work on them because they're a pain to understand. This, I would assume, is no different from that concept. It's probably a more dumbed down version, this being a more economical typewriter. This particular one, like I said, is sold by Brother. I believe Olivetti also used the golf ball type element mechanism, so therefore it would also use that particular mechanism. I was gifted this machine by a friend. He picked it up for free, figured I might want it, so I said, sure, I'll give it a whirl, see how I like it. I'm not big on electric typewriters, as I said before, but this one I've started to appreciate. Quality-wise, it's all plastic, but there is a heavy structural presence, which feels very nice, feels well built. It's not like I'm afraid to touch it or break. If you get any ladder Brothers or Olympias, those daisy wheel typewriters that were introduced in the 90s, I always feel like you can flex them way too much. This is still a old school heavy typewriter, and I do like that about it. The ribbon cartridge in these are no longer obtainable. I believe they were discontinued in the early 2000s, unfortunately. So this cartridge is the only one I have. It's about half full. I do believe that the ribbon in these are exchangeable for IBM Selectric ribbon. You would just have to take the cartridge apart and refeed it through it. Of course, a 38-year-old cartridge or however old this is, the tabs on these are likely to snap off on me, so this will look rather poor by the time I'm done with it. But it should be aware, it's a very simple system. You'd have two spools which are connected on these two shafts here. Works like a cassette recorder. Should be easy to figure something out if I wanted to make it work. Then again, like I said, I'm not really into these. I'm more interested in machines from the 1910s, 20s, mechanical, manual typewriters that you're completely independent from anything else. You don't rely on anything. These typewriters, you need specialized cartridges, you need electricity, you need specialized type elements, and working on these half the time you need a specialized mechanic. It's just not my thing. But hey, if it's you, people there's no appreciation for these, there's no collectability. That may be so. It's still a typewriter. I appreciate them all, so to speak. Except for the Olivetti Linear 88. That thing is a monster and should never have been. It's never seen the light of day. But if I ever find one, I'll do a review on that, and some of you might not end up liking it. In any event, let me give you a typing sample of this machine. One thing I do like about this machine is that it is very quiet. All these Smith Coronas worked on with the IBM, there is a very, the electric motor is very present. With this one, it will do a bit of a noise thing here, and then it will be quiet. Noise thing. I don't think that's proper English. there's that noise I was talking about. It does that on startup. I think it's the drive shaft and the motor aligning itself with something, and the bushings being a little worn out. But anyways, I'll give this a whirl and show you what it's like. This being a more economical version of a golf ball typewriter, it is somewhat dated in design. I wouldn't have dated this machine to be 80s. At the time, IBM was coming out with machines that were way ahead of this. But I suppose that's their downfall in the end. One of the things, as I believe mentioned before, carriage in this machine, instead of on IBM the element moves within the machine, on this it's still the conventional movable type carriage, automatic return.